"This house is mine. Get out of here." Just imagine hearing those exact words echoing with this heavy, terrifying resonance from a dark, completely empty room inside your own home. Well, that is exactly what happened in one of the most chilling documented paranormal cases we have ever looked at.
The mystery of house number 7, a paranormal case file. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are cracking open a truly gripping explainer on a case that remains completely, frustratingly unsolved. So let's just dive right into it.
I gotta ask you a question. Would you rent a massive, fully furnished, 2-story house with a lush garden and large iron swings for just 5,000 rupees a month? I mean, that is literally pennies. And honestly, that impossible price tag is exactly what lured Amit Verma right into a trap. Amit was a government employee, newly transferred to a village area, and he just needed space for his wife Neha and their 2 kids, Arav and Dhriti. When the agent, this guy named Ravi, showed him the property, Amit obviously asked, "Hey, why is this so insanely cheap?" Ravi gave a super standard excuse. He said the owner lives abroad, the place has been locked up for years, and they honestly just want someone there to maintain it. Amit thought he had hit the absolute jackpot. He handed over the token advance right then and there. But as you're gonna see, that bargain came with a seriously heavy cost.
It really was a tale of 2 houses. On the outside, we're talking picture perfect. Large trees, peacefully distanced from the highway noise, and tons of space for the kids to run around. But the literal second Neha stepped inside, her intuition just started screaming. The air in there felt incredibly heavy. The dust was so thick. But the absolute most unsettling part, there were 2 rooms upstairs, and one of them was sealed completely shut with a massive, heavy padlock. Even as her kids were outside happily playing on the swings, Neha felt this deep, totally unexplainable sense of dread from day one.
Now, what you have to understand here is just how exposed this family was from the get-go. Amit was a strict atheist. In Indian culture, moving into a new home almost always means performing a Griha Pravesh, which is a spiritual housewarming ceremony to basically cleanse the space and bring in positive energy. Well, Amit skipped that entirely. No temple was set up, no prayers. The house had 0 spiritual protection. And then they made the fatal mistake. Neha wanted some extra storage space, so she asked Amit to get a locksmith to open that sealed upstairs room. They literally broke the lock. Inside, they found an old wooden closet, a broken chair, and a bunch of abandoned toys shoved in the corner. Without even knowing it, they had essentially unsealed a tomb. Let's look at how this escalated, because the horror didn't just kick off with flying furniture. It started by playing with their minds. Day 1, Neha's home alone waiting for Amit, and she distinctly feels someone walk right past her. She checks the kitchen, and the lights are just flickering on and off. By day 2, she's seeing actual moving shadows in the living room. She even told one of the figures to go to bed, thinking it was her husband, only to walk into the bedroom and find Amit already fast asleep. The lights were flashing violently now. Naturally, Neha is desperately trying to rationalize all this. Faulty village wiring, right? Just exhaustion. But by day 3, with that upstairs room permanently unlocked, the entities finally descended.
So here's where the unseen actually becomes visible. One afternoon, young Arav comes running downstairs absolutely in tears, and he drops this chilling line. "A boy upstairs stole my toy." When his parents pressed him on it, Arav casually explains that he'd been playing with a phantom boy and an old woman every single evening. But today, the boy wouldn't give his ball back, and when Arav tried to snatch it, the old woman chased him. Amit, still stubbornly clinging to his rational worldview, completely brushed it off. He told Neha that kids just have wild imaginations and it was a bad dream. Man, he could not have been more wrong.
Just a few days later, things go from creepy to absolutely terrifying. The older daughter, Dhriti, comes home early from an exam. She rings the bell, and the front door slowly opens entirely on its own. She walks in, calling for her mom, and as she gets closer to the kitchen, this normal smell of cooking suddenly twists into an overpowering, nauseating stench, like rotting flesh. She peeks around the corner, and sitting right there on the kitchen floor are the old woman and the young boy. And they're eating this pitch-black, completely putrid food that is just radiating this foul odor. Dhriti let out a massive scream and bolted out the front door, running right into her mom who was just getting back from the market. The entities weren't hiding anymore. They were openly roaming the ground floor.
That exact same night, we hit the absolute climax of this haunting. The kids are completely traumatized, totally refusing to sleep. Out of nowhere, this massive, violent crash echoes from the ceiling upstairs. Neha leaves the kids with a meat and slowly creeps up the stairs. She checks the first room. Nothing. Empty. Then she pushes open the door to that newly unsealed room, and lying right there on the dusty floor are the physical forms of the old woman and the boy. Only they aren't moving at all. They are dead, and their eyes are wide open, staring completely unblinking right at Neha. She slams the door in pure terror, and that's when a heavy, disembodied voice boomed from the other side. "This house is mine. Get out of here."
Okay, faced with that undeniable proof, Amit finally caves and brings in a professional paranormal investigator, Dr. Anshul Mehra, and the data they captured is just wild. The second they stepped near that upstairs room, the EMF meter spiked violently. We're talking a massive electromagnetic field. The temperature sensors recorded this crazy, unnatural drop in heat. But here's the kicker. As Dr. Mehra tried to capture audio, every single piece of their electronic equipment just died. The batteries drained to zero instantly. The supernatural energy in this house was so immense, it literally absorbed the power right out of the room. At that point, Dr. Mehra was terrified. He knew science wasn't going to fix this.
Since science failed, they brought in a powerful tantric, Mahakal Giri, to perform an exorcism. He starts chanting and splashing holy water around the house. And in a really disturbing visual, anywhere the water hit a spot where the spirits had touched the walls, dark black scorch marks appeared. Then, the tantric bravely steps into the upstairs room, and absolute chaos erupts. Objects start levitating and violently exploding against the walls. Dr. Mehra's backup gear totally fries. Finally, the tantric just backs out and admits total defeat. He looks at Amit and says, "These spirits are way too powerful. They were trapped in this room and you released them. I can't banish them." He hastily resealed the room with mantras and told the family they needed to run.
The aftermath was swift. The Verma family did not stick around to pack. They abandoned the house that very weekend, leaving behind an entire year's worth of prepaid rent. Honestly, they didn't care about the money. They just wanted to survive. But get this. Shortly after the family escaped, news came out that the actual owner of the property, the guy living comfortably abroad, had suddenly and mysteriously died. Is it a coincidence? Maybe. But what we do know for sure is that to this day, House No. 7 remains permanently empty. It just stands silent and decaying on the edge of the village.
Locals will tell you that anyone brave enough to approach the property, or anyone even thinking about buying it, ends up hearing that exact same warning echoing from the upstairs window. "This house is mine. Get out." So we've walked through the timeline, the complete failure of the scientific equipment, and the horrifying encounters of this case file, and it really just leaves us with one lingering, chilling question for you. Knowing exactly what is waiting in that dusty, unsealed upstairs room, would you ever want to visit house number 7? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, guys. Keep questioning the unknown, and I'll see you in the next one.